Our first trip on Monday, we were around big fish all day, and I had a plan, and then the wind died, and we stuck with the plan, only got 2.5 pounders. Today we're doing a little bit better because I changed the plan. It's windy today too, so one of the things I like to do is throw this spinnerbait on wind-blown flats, and that's how I got the bigger fish this time. But had we done something Monday when the wind died down and headed to the channels, I think we would have gotten better fish. Today, we're running to the channels, getting better fish. Where we fish on the big water can be a direct result of the weather, but it also hinges on bass location and perhaps most of all on the skill sets we have the most confidence in. The smallmouth bite on Lake St. Clair has hit a sweet spot where you can have competitive success in the lake or the St. Clair River. The section of big water you choose can have a lot to do with how you like to fish. The plan day one was to stay in the big smallie zone, and we did. What we didn't count on was the sudden calm winds that arrived shortly after we began to fish. This is a Lake St. Clair special phenomenon that is good to know. Many times the winds around the shipping channel and Canada will go flat calm. Generally, that is not good for the bite. What you see now is a side-by-side comparison of how the winds were at the shipping channel and at the exact time what they were doing along the U.S. shoreline miles from shore. If I hadn't stuck to the original plan, we could have done a couple of things to get into water with smallmouth that were more active. We could have run a mile or so to U.S. water with chop, or we could have run up the river where the current is constant and so is the bite. We stayed on a bite with average smallmouth and paid the price. However, here is something important we learned at the Firecracker. Last week, the schools were right behind the marker. This week, on Monday, in calm conditions, the schools moved about 30 yards downstream, but still on the flat. On Wednesday, in a brisk east-northeast wind, we drifted 100 yards back and never found the schools. Bottom line, sometimes it takes time to find where the schools have repositioned. We also learned the cabbage beds around the coal piles are maturing fast. We caught our smallies on the fringes of the cover and structure in this area. We caught or saw at least 5 different species in this area, which is a sign the area is healthy and should remain productive. One last note for day one. The perch fleet was located on the Canadian side of the channel by the St. Clair Light. There's a brief period where the smallmouth bite takes off there. Although smallmouth will be there most of the season, that bite only lasts about 2 weeks. Day 2 was amazing. We got a limit in short order on the first spot we fished. This time we had enough bass in the medium to high 3-pound class and a 4 to tell us the spot was legit. My thanks goes out to Randy Forrest and Extreme Bass Tackle for sponsoring this trip. Randy was catching smallies on a variety of Extreme Bass Tackle baits that included this puffball jig, getting our best bass of the day so far. The middle channel treated us well. This St. Clair Goby NFT drop shot tube popped a smallmouth in 26 feet. I've had good production on this bait in the drop shot and the 4-inch tube for over a week now. We found a big school of smallies in the St. Clair River that turned a section of the water next to the boat so black you couldn't see the bottom through them. This is the only spot we couldn't get bit, though. They would only follow. We jetted off to the South Channel, and that's where the bite really took off. The size was there. Bass were schooling at the surface, and we got them deep, too. One stop we made was at Souci. My, how things have changed since my last underwater camera trip there. I'm guessing these boulders were stacked here to buttress the new seawall when it was put in a few years ago. Did I mention that Randy was having a good day? It was an honor to net these brutes. I started throwing this Extreme Bass Tackle 3.4-inch floating X-Craw in the new Mayfly design on a stand-up jig. Got a respectable largemouth and several smallies. If you look close, you will see I'm fishing it shiny side down. I call that wings down. When the bite is like this, it's a good time to experiment, so I pulled out one of my more radical design tubes, Goldfish. It's solid for the deep bite, but I also had a smallie take it in 4 feet of water. We made a pass at X40 and found the smallies are still relating to the 20-foot ranges in the river. They are still on schedule, though. They make a move into the 30-foot range around August 1st. It's been a good week on the big water. This weekend, we have a mixed bag of weather and a wind shift to the south. Tight lines.
God bless and good fishing.